Lodge of Masons of California has formed an economic partnership with Raising a Reader, a nonprofit national organization devoted to improving child literacy in kindergarten through third grade classrooms and communities throughout California. Classrooms in low socioeconomic areas of the state have seen a decline in the literacy rate, which, in turn, has created a negative effect on state and national assessments. The Raising a Reader program, in concert with the classroom teacher, builds a synergy between the student and parent to improve literacy, reading skills, and appreciation of a multitude of reading-based activities for the entire family. Comprised of the 26 Masonic lodges in Riverside and San Bernardino counties, the Division 8 Committee created this video presentation, Raising a Reader, Investing in Our Future, which validates literacy as the cornerstone for successful students and families throughout our nation. The success of our students and the lifelong learning opportunities for them and their families is the cornerstone of a free society. For the Masons of California, a literate state. For Raising a Reader, a literate nation. Enjoy the presentation.
Hello. When we were developing the program for this year's fraternal project, Raising a Reader, we had many long discussions about what we needed to communicate to you in this second year of the campaign. Last year, we focused on the state of literacy in our communities and what we needed to do about it. This year, we focus upon the foundational issues why Freemasonry in California has, since the 19th century, championed the cause of public education. First is a discussion of symbolism and how it relates to the subject of literacy. Then, illustrations of how literacy affects everything from individuals to all the people of the world. Each is a reason why California Masons have been investing in our future.
As individuals, families, communities, cultures, and societies, we have surrounded ourselves with signs and symbols which depict the ideas and principles that define us. We attach to these symbols our feelings and ideals, our customs and traditions, and our values. Some symbols serve with less significance, and to others we assign great importance. One such important symbol is the cornerstone. It is both a tangible article with an important purpose and a symbol that represents the ideas of foundation, preparation, and a point of beginning that looks towards completion and perfection. In its physical state, the cornerstone is prepared for the purpose of determining the physical characteristics of the building of which it is a part. It is the starting point and must be plumb, square, and level if the building is to be the same. Improperly placed or formed, the resulting structure will not be level, out of plumb or square, and will be weak and unable to last the test of time. The structure may not be able to support its own weight and become a danger to its occupants. So important is its preparation and placement. Rituals, ceremonies, and traditions have been attached to the setting of the stone. These practices have existed for thousands of years, which testify to its importance. As a symbol, it represents a properly prepared foundation that will guarantee a successful conclusion, completion, or attainment of perfection or enlightenment. One need only check the internet to see how it is used. People identify their businesses, events, places of worship, products, and services with the symbol of the cornerstone. The symbol of the cornerstone conjures images of truth, strength, solidity, and the foundation for success and happiness. It seems only fitting that we use the cornerstone to illustrate literacy as the cornerstone for every person in our great society. Literacy is the cornerstone that will provide the foundation for youth to learn about this great world and everything in it. It is the starting point to a successful academic career. It is the gateway to truth, ideals, and values. Literacy enables us to communicate our thoughts, feelings, and ideas. It connects us to one another in the here and now, and it is a connection to our past as well as our future. Literacy allows us to cross any boundary, travel to any foreign country, and to explore inner and outer space. It allows us to study our past and to formulate our future. It enables us to examine anything that can be placed between the leaves of a book with never leaving the confines of our homes, public libraries, or our schools. Without literacy, our youth will be unable to move forward in life without huge obstacles that many will fail to overcome. Without literacy, our children will not be able to contribute as citizens and members of our communities. They will be less able to provide for themselves and their families, and just as the building with a poorly prepared and set cornerstone, they will be unable to support their own weight and will fall into decay and ruin. But there are those who have chosen to prepare and set the cornerstone of literacy so that our children will succeed. In the discussion that follows, you will see why it is so important that you should also choose to help.
Over the last 200 years, a young nation grew into a world power. This was accomplished by the actions of its citizens and their involvement in the process of government, designed by men who valued knowledge and free thought as much as they valued freedom and equality for every person. They felt that the new society for the ages would only succeed if everyone had the opportunity to obtain an education and to be literate. This focus of providing the opportunity of an education for each individual can have far-reaching effects, not only for the individual, but for everyone they come in contact with. From the beginning, our forefathers were investing in our future.
Reading truly is the gateway for every path in life. It is the common written language that bridges the gaps in society. There are so many aspects that affect one's life today. Learning how to read is one of the most important ones. It is like climbing a ladder. One must master the foundation of phonetic awareness, phonics, fluency, vocabulary, and comprehension in order to read effectively. Reading is an essential skill that every child should master in order to grow as a productive individual. Being able to read well affects many aspects of life, from childhood to adulthood. In the United States of America prior to 1850, when Massachusetts became the initial state to introduce mandatory education, literacy was 98%. Knowing how to read was necessary so men and women could study the scriptures. They put an emphasis on reading because they understood the benefits. According to the National Assessment of Education Progress, about 64% of today's children are less than competent in reading, even after attending school through high school. 38% of all fourth graders in the United States can't read an elementary narrative or verse. In today's society, reading is not an essential part of life. With the introduction of video games, text messaging, and the internet, individuals do not have the foundation in reading as their ancestors did. Research shows that children who learn to read at an early age feel more confident when they begin school. By feeling more confident, they are more eager to accept new learning challenges and build upon those skills. The building blocks or foundation that children master carries them throughout their lives and well into adulthood. They feel more confident in school, which in turn makes them want to go to school. They are less apprehensive about events and situations because they have built upon their self-confidence. According to a Yale University study, reading activates children's neural circuitry, the network of nerves and their connectors. As a result, their brains become more receptive to the learning process. Some of the benefits of mastering reading include academic excellence, basic speech skills, better communication skills, mastery of language, more logical thinking skills, and enhanced concentration and discipline. All these benefits lay the foundation of a successful individual. Without being able to read, individuals would have a hard time filling out job applications, conducting an effective job interview, counting money, taking notes, ordering food at restaurants, reading maps, and using the internet to its full ability.
The people of this nation were successful because of their access to education and the value that society placed upon obtaining one. Clearly, there can be no educational experience unless the student seeking it has the ability to read. We have seen how literacy provides each person with the tools necessary to function productively, not only as an individual, but as a member of a larger group. We begin to see how the benefit multiplies as literacy grows. Benefits derived from investing in our future.
Education improves man's ability to think and act responsibly toward himself and his fellow man. It has been said that democracy can't survive when the level of intelligence and the morality of the people is low. A democratic form of government can rise no higher than its source, which is the intelligence and character of its citizens. The schools can aid in producing an intelligent citizenry, but they must have the support of a revitalized society, a society that is in tune with the importance of the public school program, the seedbed of democracy. The public school system is conceived in the community and is dedicated to the achievement of a full sense of community. Education prepares our youth for a useful occupation and provides the tools with which our young can contribute to society and to provide the future leadership of the country. It provides us with the lessons of experience from yesterday, which is good, and avoids that which is defective. An educated citizen acts as a check on political leaders. Education teaches us to think and evaluate, rather than accept every written or spoken word. Many of the issues and reforms needed in the educational system focus upon the demands of society in this changing world. The core of all learning is reading. Without that foundation, the difficulty in accumulating knowledge is great. The influence of the parent in the child's early years of learning to read is fundamental to the process of child development. The community's future, therefore, depends on the literacy of its citizens, starting with our young children.
From the symbolic identification of the importance we have placed on literacy, to what it means to us as individuals, and to the relative importance of literacy to our communities, we have seen many compelling reasons why we have been and should continue to be involved in this great cause. We will now move the discussion forward to a larger community and why we need to continue to be investing in our future.
Education is a human right with immense power to transform. On its foundation rest the cornerstones of freedom, democracy, and sustainable human development. It is no surprise that former Secretary of the United Nations, Kofi Annan, made this observation about education. Throughout history, education has been and will continue to be the cornerstone of free, tolerant, progressive, and democratic societies. Out of the Reformation, the 17th century period of religious conflict, Freemasons were discreet in support of society's ethical development and civic progress. Throughout history, the fraternity has worked quietly to support the cause of religious tolerance, abolitionism, free democratic societies, and above all, the importance of a well-educated society. Within Masonry, one of the cornerstones of this society of brothers is education, and by its very nature, literacy. In the United States, our Masonic brethren have been the cornerstones of every facet of our free society. 16 presidents from George Washington to Gerald Ford, including the likes of the Roosevelts, Harry S. Truman, and Andrew Jackson. Writers, including Samuel Clemens, better known as Mark Twain. Astronauts Neil Armstrong and Edwin Buzz Aldrin, who planted a Masonic flag on the moon. Educators W.E.B. Du Bois and Booker T. Washington. Athletes, doctors, inventors, religious leaders, musicians, artists, composers, signers of the Declaration of Independence and the United States Constitution. Masonic ideals transcend the very fiber of our great country. In his U.S. News and World Report article of September 14, 2009, Mitch Horowitz writes of the founding of our nation, notably George Washington and other early American Freemasons, who rejected our European past and created the Great Seal of the United States, the cornerstone of our country. Benjamin Franklin, Thomas Jefferson, and John Adams designed the eye and unfinished pyramid with the inscription Annuit Coptus Novus Ordo Seclorum. God smiles on our new order of the ages. This very statement, found on the back of the $1 bill, is the cornerstone of our great nation. Further, Horowitz writes, "It is Masonic philosophy to the core. The pyramid, or worldly achievement, is incomplete without the blessing of Providence, and this polity of man and God, as Masonry saw it, required a break with the religious order of the Old World and a renewed search for universal truth. In its symbols and ideas, Masonry conveyed a sense that something new was being born in America, that the individual's conscience was beyond denominational affiliation or government command. The cornerstone of Masonry and our lives is built on literacy and education. Every man who enters the fraternity begins his journey as an apprentice. His coach or teacher provides the educational foundation of the craft, and once he has proven his ability, he is passed to the status of fellow craft. Fellow craft Masons are taught the more esoteric facets of the fraternity, the reasons behind the beauty, form, and structure of the edifice or society. As he becomes even more proficient at his craft and meets the criteria of a fellow craft, he is then prepared to become a master of the craft, or master mason. Upon being raised to this degree, much the same as the building takes shape from its foundation, or the student graduates from school, there is the admonition that they may have attained this important step in their lives. However, there is much, much more to learn to be a productive member therein. Education is lifelong. The beginning is only the cornerstone. The cornerstone of which we speak is a metaphor for our great country. Our forefathers constructed a nation that admonished us to walk uprightly before the Supreme Architect and our fellow man, that we square our actions with the virtues we have been taught, and that we treat our fellow man as equals on the level field of time in memoriam. Literacy is that cornerstone of education where reading ensures our ability to walk uprightly with confidence, which in turn affords us the ability to learn and practice the virtues of life as we treat our fellow man as equals on the level of time in order to build that edifice, this country we call our home."
How far-reaching is the effect of something as basic as the ability to read? The answer is pretty simple to surmise. It begins with our assignment of the level of importance we place upon it. It is begun with an individual and grows to all of the others within that individual's family and community. Then it reaches out between communities to their country, and then from one country to the next, until all of humanity is touched by it. We move the discussion into the World Forum by visiting a small part of it, right here in San Jacinto, California, where the people there are investing in our future.
I remember reading that book in my book bag I took home, exclaimed two 5-year-olds, Alexandra and Michael, as they attentively watched their kindergarten teacher show the class a book from their book bags they take home every week. Comments like these are commonplace in the kindergarten classrooms at San Jacinto Elementary School, where the Masons have generously donated a literacy book program to the children living in lower socioeconomic areas. The program is Raise a Reader. Their purpose is to change the world through literacy, one book at a time. Reading is the foundation for all other learning. Not only do readers achieve better in school, they also become lifelong learners. Surveys show that literacy is the key to creating informed citizens. Literacy skills are fundamental to informed decision-making and to the participation in local and global social community. According to a UNESCO report on global education, the National Endowment for the Arts surveyed more than 17,000 adults, noted that those who read are more involved in their communities and more engaged in the political process as voters. It seems as a country and global competitor, raising literate children behoves not only the individual, but society as a whole. So how do we raise readers in our society? By building a love of reading in young children. This passion will very well continue with them throughout their lives. The aim is to get children excited about books and read early on so that they have a higher chance of becoming readers and literate citizens later in life. Raise a Reader focuses on the goal of by equipping every family with award-winning books to share and read together. The parent-child book sharing experience enhances bonding time and instills strong reading skills early on. It provides the opportunity for families to connect, talk, tell stories, and engage with other books. Raise a Reader has taken no shortcuts in the books they provide. Every title is carefully selected and theme-based, often including award-winning titles, to ensure the best book sharing experience possible. What better way to change the world than through literacy? If we are to expect our children to be able to access the increasing information and verbal-based world around them, we need to help them become literate, no matter the area they live in or social economic class they belong to. It begins by getting books in the hands of children early in life, and Raising a Reader makes this possible. The students attending kindergarten at San Jacinto Elementary School are getting that chance, and it started with just one book.